Analyzing student papers.
So today is going to be an exciting day. Today you're going to see and be able to watch me analyze my student papers. I have 3 writers. I have Roxar, Fardoza, and Angie, all which are different writers. So for example, if I'm looking at Roxar's paper, I know that Roxar speaks 8 different languages and Angie speaks 2. So when I think about my writers, each of my writers are going to have different needs. And that's going to play a big part of the feedback in which I put on their papers. So, for example, I'm probably not going to pay attention to Roxar's spelling as much as I would Angie's. Because of the 8 different languages in which Roxar speaks, I'm not going to look at spelling. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be a next step for her, eventually. So one of the things I want you to keep in mind is when you're watching me, is each of these writers is different. The feedback is going to be different for each student. And I'm going to be looking at what proficiency calls for. When I say proficiency, don't forget it means my grade level A's, B's, okay? So if you go by A, B, C, D, I go by proficient, partially proficient. So what I'm thinking about is what makes a student become proficient or grade level as a writer. Each student is going to be different. So as you watch me today, keep in mind that the feedback will look very different for each of the writers. So what you're looking at is a poster that I made for the kids. The title is, How Can You Make Sure You're Working Towards the Proficiency? Don't forget, proficiency in my district means grade level. What you're seeing is there are 5 pieces in which they are needing to follow each Friday during prompt writing, or in fact anytime they write, in my room. So for example, number 1, are you recognizing when meaning is breaking down? One of the things I notice that my students are doing is that they are forgetting the endings off words, they are forgetting words in the middle of a sentence, or their spelling errors are getting in the way of meaning. So that is something that is consistently being worked on. Number 2, are you working towards your next steps and consistently applying your strengths? As you'll notice when I analyze papers, you'll notice that I write down a next step for each student and a strength for each student. And that is an expectation in which they learn to follow. Number 3, what tools are you using to help you? The tools in my room are exemplars in which you're about to see and the writing process that we work on throughout the week. Number 4, are you making purposeful changes? Are they recognizing when meaning breaks down and are they able to make the changes that make sense? Number 5, are you seeing yourself as a writer? It's really important that in my class that each student is seeing themselves as a writer in which they are growing to be the best writer they can every day. Okay, so here what you're looking at is an example of a proficient piece. I actually copied it from one of my students. They were working so hard and I felt that they deserved a spot on my wall. I do start off with exemplars, my example of proficiency, grade level proficiency and above grade level proficiency. But as kids are taking on the learning, I then replaced mine with theirs, so I copied it. This student actually did a really good job with the structure, the body, and the ending. A quick descriptive paragraph about their favorite place is Colorado. Also over here you'll notice that as an exemplar, they actually have a checklist in which they can refer to. So for example, they know that the first sentence includes a hook to grab the reader. Details are supportive and specific to the topic. They might and may use similes, metaphors, or even alliteration. Voice is present. In my class we work on our voice. Our voice is very strong. We have our structure and organization is present and it's not getting in the way of meaning. A variety of transitions. Paragraphs are present. Punctuation and spelling are not getting in the way of meaning. And in order to be a proficient piece, it's okay to have 1 to 2 unclear sentences. Sentences that do not make sense. Sentences that might get in the way of meaning. However, there's only 1 or 2. So this is an example of a prompt folder. This is for Doza's prompt folder. And we do prompt writing on Fridays. And we keep all of our prompt writing in one folder. Their prompt folder is all independent. So everything in this folder is everything she is doing by herself. I keep it where this is the draft side. And there I have all the evidence of all of her drafts. and this is the published side. So this is where they get the grade. So they get to see the growth from the draft to the published piece week after week. This writer, her name is Angie, and Angie she's been growing, she's been doing a really good job for me. So I'm looking at her draft from this past week, and I don't see as much as I want to see when it comes to the work that needs to be done. I do know that she was in a hurry this past week, so I'm wondering if that had anything that has affected her writing, but I'm going to wait and see. I'm hoping to have, I want to see more, but I think I already know what her next step is. Right away, I remember the last time her next step was she did not have an ending. It was mixed with her third detail. So right away, I see that she has worked on that, and she has actually separated her ending from her body of her paragraph. My favorite season is winter. It's my favorite season because there's snow, hot cocoa, and it's my birthday. So one of her strengths is that she's taking on the next steps. I see it being approximated in her writing. Her strength was, last week it was transitions. I still see it first. However, finally, I'm still seeing those as which I should expect to see it. So now what I'm thinking about is I'm going to go back over for the whole structure. She has her introduction. It's snow, there's a topic sentence, and she's talking about her 3 ideas. There's snow, there's hot cocoa, and it's her birthday. She's talking about first, it's the best, there's snow, we could do some snow angels or snowmen. The one thing I'm thinking about for Angie is I would love to see her elaborate. She has a single detail in each of for her body. She can make snow angels and snowmen. Her mom can make hot cocoa. And then for her birthday, she can relax on her bed. Well, one thing I've taught the kids is that with each detail, there needs to be an elaboration. S for strength, and S for next step. I'm wanting her, I think I'm going to want, with each detail, I want an elaboration. She knows what elaboration is due to the writing that we've done during the week in our draft books. So what that means, though, is I will have to show her that after each detail, I would like an additional detail. I'd like to be able to see another descriptive phrase that gives me a little bit more information. So for example, I would hope to see there's snow and we can do some snow angels and snowmen. For example, we can lay in the snow and wave our arms back and forth and build snowmen with carrots and a scarf and a hat. I would love to see that elaborated right here. So I would just kind of give her a note so she knows that the next time she goes to write, she is going to give me a detail and then she's going to elaborate it. And for her strength this week is that she took on the feedback from the week before. So I see that she is growing. One thing I want these children to be able to do is take one piece and grow as a writer. I can't give them 20 next steps. I can give them one next step, and each week as they continue to grow, I will have a proficient piece. So her piece is, I'm going to give her a partially proficient, and I give them this little H. I give them a partially proficient high, and all that means is that she's so close to being proficient, but she cannot, I'm not going to let her be proficient yet because she doesn't have enough details for me. I love how I see that she has spicy chips. I see that she can make warm hot cocoa. So I see great strengths. I also know that I can't write all of it. So when I do little notes, they know exactly what I mean. It means that I'm noticing it and they're taking on the learning from the week. Right now we're going to look at Roxar. Roxar is a unique individual because Roxar speaks 8 different languages. And knowing her as a writer, she struggles with spelling only because she's trying to spell in 8 different languages. And so I love reading her writing because this is a perfect example of not to get frustrated with a writer who can't spell, but rather look at what she is able to do. I do see evidence of the work that she took on. She was trying spelling. I see that she did some revising. I even see evidence of transitions, and I see lots of revising. So I can't wait to read her writing. And so here it goes. My favorite season is summer because every day I go to the pool. I don't have to go to school, and my birthday is in summer. Now, it might not have said exactly what I said. I see that she wrote every day I got to go to the pool, don't have to go to school, but I know what she's saying. I know what she means. To begin with, every day at 12:30, my family and I go to the pool. Once I fell down and drowned, my brother helped me get up. If you sat in the hot and relaxing jacuzzi, you go to sleep because I did. I see that she says relaxing. I see a vowel pattern or a vowel that she just needs support on. I love how she sounded out jacuzzi. Jokzie. Love it. So Rockstar has a lot of strengths in this. I don't get frustrated over her spelling whatsoever right now because one, even as a fifth grader, her language level, it's developmental. So she is working on spelling daily in her draft book. And so what I do see as a learner is I do see evidence that she's taking on some things that we've done throughout the week. And we've been learning contractions. So I see that. So I'm not going to worry about her spelling. One thing I do, after I read this, I'm thinking back to the structure. She has her introduction. She has her favorite season is summer. She gets to go to the pool. She doesn't go to school, and her birthday's in summer. She has her 3 ideas. I see, and I have read evidence in which she has elaborated a little bit for each detail. The one thing I noticed is that as a fifth grader, she does not have a proficient ending, which means in the ending, I should see that her details or her ideas are brought and summarized. What I see is that she has her birthday and she's going to go to the pool, but she doesn't have anything about going to school. So what I would like to do is just have her touch up her ending so it gets to be it's going to be proficient if she ties up her 3 ideas. So I'm going to write strength and I'm going to write a next step. So her next step is just a reminder. It's going to say be sure to tie all 3 ideas together in the end. And her strength, believe it or not, as I was reading this, I really liked how she used and has been approximating with her transitions to begin with. However, good thing we don't have school in summer. We don't have to do homework. And she used finally. So one thing I'm going to actually say is that she is using her transitions well, and I want her to keep that up. So what happens here is if they have a strength, I'm going to see this strength continue as a strength in each piece she starts to write for me. Because of her spelling, it didn't get in the way of meaning for me because I am her teacher, but any outside party would probably struggle with meaning. So I still am going to give her a partially proficient. I cannot give her grade level work just yet, but that is sure to show up.